Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris G. Just hope y'all doing all right. Excuse me, and just just want people to just hang in there. That's kind of what I'm talking about, man. I was saying a bunch of stuff earlier, man, and doggone shit. I thought I was live, and I wasn't. I was just talking and wasn't even going live. But I just wanted to talk about that some other stuff. I'm gonna probably not try to hold y'all up here too long, but I want to talk about hanging in there, man, because we're going through some real tough, troubling times right now in the world and in America, things like that. And there's a lot of stuff going on, man. And like I said, people at jobs trying to make it. Some people are trying to find jobs, or trying to transition into something better. But I just want people just to hang in there and be thankful that you get to wake up in the morning and see another day. You know, I myself, I've gone through life and been through a lot of things. And ran across people that some folks that I thought I could trust, and some people that I've ended up finding out that I couldn't trust them, or they might have had some type of ulterior motives type of stuff against me. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people today. There are a lot of throw the rock, hide your hand type people. They do something and say, hey man, such such happened to me. You know somebody? Oh no, I don't know. No. And hell, they probably was the people that did it. You know what I'm saying? They might have doggone been the people that did it. So you just gotta really, just hang in there, just look around your surroundings, watch out, with the type of people that you hang with and stuff like that, people you converse with, because some of those people you think you might can really trust, you think they're right, they really might be solid, and the next thing you know, they probably not. They probably getting ready to gear up to try to do harm to you, try to, make bad things happen to you, or to maybe just get you seriously hurt, you know. So that's definitely something that you want to do. And I remember, some time back, man. It was back when I used to live in my hometown. I remember I went to like it was like a meeting at the office, like the management office. I went there, and they're having a meeting on like crime prevention and stuff like that. And there was like a middle aged woman that was in there, and I remember her talking one day. Man, she was like, there's a darkness coming over the city. There's a darkness, and I remember her saying it. I was just like, damn, like that's some real stuff, man. Because I think that there's something to that. Excuse me. I think there's something to that. So that just reminded me of some stuff about things that people are going through. I remember when I was there, people were having their homes vandalized and vehicles and stuff. I remember I had my car like vandalized, had my window busted out one time, man, and I just lived in a bad area, man. And there's other stuff that happened too, back where I lived at. But I just think that that's because of like dark force energy, because I think a lot of that has really come like into into America, and probably perhaps around the world too, man. You know what I'm saying? And and I think now you got like, what some people call like the great falling away. You got folks that don't really too much they don't really too much believe in the most high no more. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I got my vices and things I'm trying to wrestle with, but at the end of the day, I still do know, about the big man upstairs, you know what I mean? And you got some folks, they just done pulled away, and they done started getting off into other types of stuff, um, like dark forces type of stuff, man. Just some real questionable, type of stuff, man. And some people, they done got real wicked, and just they want to do stuff to harm people, and want to project bad energy, bad type of life on the folks, man. And it could be people that they doing that stuff to. Is that they just the folks are just trying to get up and just earn a living and take care of their family, man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Or if they're single, they just trying to just make it in life and just survive, keep a roof over their head and food in the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? But you just unfortunately you just got a lot of just nasty, sick people out there that want to do bad stuff, man. And so that's why I just say for people, just try to hang in there, but at the same time, you gotta, pray to the Most High. Do that to have your mind right, or whatever type of moral, type of compass you use to help you navigate through this thing we call life, man. You want to try to stick to it because you got a lot of stuff going on out there, man. And like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm trying to get myself right and try to live a good life and try to help people. You know what I'm saying, and just try to be a good all around person. And I try not to look down on people. I don't look down on the homeless or people that fell on hard times. Because like I said, the falling on hard times that can happen to anybody. You know, but you want to try to hang in there. You don't want to try to self delete yourself and take yourself out of the world. You want to try to find a way to bounce back and be able to stand up. Because sometimes life will knock you down, just like you in a boxing match or the MMA. You get clocked with a good one, you fall down. But you want to try to do your best to get back up and try to keep going. And you want to try to get yourself in a situation in life where you can be happy about what position or situation you in. Whether you find a new job, or you work at a different department in your job, or you just leave the job and go period and go start your own business, or maybe you need to move to another city or something like that, move to another state, or maybe you need to move out the country. Maybe it might be doing better living overseas or something. But you got to try to find what you can find that'll make you happy, and something that you could be you could be decent, like you have a decent mindset dealing with. And like I said, for the people that's out there struggling, if you hear this live, or you catch the replay, just hang in there, man. Just hang in there, because I want you to succeed. I do. Excuse me. So that's my thing on that right there. Oh, and I don't know. Did I say it earlier? Oh yeah, like I said, and, some of these people that be walking around, man. They, like I said, I think personally, I think some of these people might not even be people. They might actually be like demonic forces or something like that, like demonic entities, like cosplaying as people. But like I said, that's just something I think about. You don't have to believe that, but I think there might be something to that stuff, man. But yeah, so I'm just gonna just move on from there right there. Like I said, just hang in there. And there's something I saw on the news, or on the in line one day. It was about a young black girl that was in Georgia, and I believe she ended up getting like a scholarship for farming. And I was really proud of her. I wish I had wrote her name down. I don't know what her name is, but I was really proud of that young girl, because she's doing something that's positive, and I'm glad that that story came out because um, like Black society, we really gotta be able, and it's cool for other people to see too. But in Black society, Black America, we gotta see positive images like that of Black folks doing things like that. We don't always have to see negative stuff where somebody is something with with gun violence, or somebody done took somebody out, or some type of like debaucherous activity. So I want to definitely give a shout out to that young girl. She was from down there in Georgia. And like I said, her mom and dad raised her very well. And she was out there. She had like I think it was like a garden, like it's kind of like a garden. It wasn't too big, but it wasn't like the little itty bitty small one. You had to take some steps to walk around to get to certain parts of the garden. But she was running that garden. I think at first her parents were running it, and then like the little girl ended up running it. She knew what she was doing, knew when to water the plants, and I think she knew about like crop rotation and stuff like that. So shout out to her, and I wish her the very best in life. I really do. And let me see, I want to move on to another topic here. I had seen something online, and this happened some time back, but it was something about a UFO, that I think I forget who was launching something at it. I don't know if it was the U.S. or somebody overseas. I apologize if some of my stuff is kind of vague, but it was something about UFO got hit by a missile or something, man, and That sucker did not go down. That thing kept flying, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like I saw like the video of that man. That thing was like it was like I think like night footage or something. That missile hit that thing. That sucker just kept going, man. I'm like, whatever type of technology that is, that's some serious business. And that's definitely that's definitely something you don't be playing with. Like I said, I think probably NASA or somebody they probably done broke down and analyzed that video and stuff like that, to try to see what they could learn from it. But that was some really mind blowing stuff, man. And me personally about the whole, do I think, excuse me, do I think, you know, is there life on other planets, type of thing like that? I think the probability is pretty high, and I would lean, pretty much to the side of saying that I think there is life, excuse me, I think there is life out there in out in the universe, because I just think that the universe is just too big for it to just only be, just only people, just only human beings on Earth. I think there's other, type of life out there, and I also think too, man, because some people they're like, oh man, there's gonna be this big old invasion and all this other type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna come down and do such and such, such as all this. And I'm the way I think though, personally, this is my own opinion. I think they might already be here. Because some of these folks, I think I done walked around and seen some people. I'm like, what's up with that dude? Oh, what's up with that lady or something? It's like they were just really odd acting, man. So shit, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them's already here. Walking around among us, kind of like that old show, Alien Nation. I remember seeing that back when I was a kid. I remember seeing that, and yeah, that was a wild show, man. Just thinking that they're here, but like I said, I think if they're here, they're like in human form and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or they might be like humanoid or something like that. But I think that's just my own personal belief. Like I said, but like yeah, I think they might be here already. I do. So that's what I think about that there. And so now I'm going to move on to something else that I had seen. Excuse me, it had been probably I think a few months back when I saw this situation where it was what was it? I think it was a situation where I think it's like some cops had pulled over, this one black dude. I think something might have I think his headlights might have not been on or something like that. It was something. But the main thing I wanted to talk about was about it was like, even though the guy didn't want to get out the car, he just had this one officer who decided to take his fist and just straight punch the guy in the face, and I'm very big against like police brutality and stuff like that. I think that stuff is horrible, and regardless of who that happens to, regardless of what race, like nobody should be getting brutalized, by law enforcement, man. I really think that's wrong, and I really think those types of officers don't need to be working on the force or doing any type of security stuff. Period. And then excuse me, some people would probably be like, oh well, he should have got out the car and all that stuff or whatever. I'm like, you could go with that angle. Me personally, I myself wish he'd have got out of the car, just just to try to not put himself in a situation where things could escalate, you know. But the part that just like I said that really got me was just that punching in the face, man. Then I think he ended up getting hit some more times once he was finally out of the car, man. And um, just because somebody might not initially want to do the commands that you want them to do, that doesn't necessarily mean that you could just take out your pent up frustration and just hit somebody like they're a damn pinata. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff is not cool, man. That's really really not cool. You know, officers are supposed to show restraint and use sound judgment when they're doing law enforcement, man. You know, you sucker punching somebody in the face because they didn't do something right when you wanted them to, or you know, like I said, they didn't move fast enough, or you didn't like how they did something. Like that doesn't give you the right to just tee off on somebody. It's not cool, man. It really isn't. And I just wish that a lot more of these officers were just, you know, taken you know, just taken away from law enforcement, man. And like I say, they don't need to be doing any type of law enforcement. They don't need to be doing nothing dealing with the security, any type of stuff like that. Stuff like directly where it's dealing with people's safety. I don't think they need to be dealing with that, man. They need to go do something else. And some of them do stuff so bad, I think they actually need to be doing. They need to be locked up doing time. You know, because I'm somebody that believes in law enforcement because it's like if we didn't have law, the world would be chaotic. I think the world would be looking like Mad Max, man. Excuse me. I honestly believe that. That's why I think having law enforcement is important. But at the same time, you need to treat people with decency and respect, man. You know, I remember one time I seen something on the news where something happened to this one guy back where I used to live at, and I never heard a follow up story. You know, because I believe that brother had his life taken. You know, and it was some unlawful stuff that happened, but I never heard a law update on it. You know, I asked my mom back where I'm from, was there a follow up on it because like the family member of that the black dude that had his life taken away by an officer, you know, the family went to try to go, I guess, you know, file charges against that one officer, and then kind of find out later on that like, you know, uh that officer, I think he was related to a judge or something like that, man. So it's like I don't know after that, I don't know if somebody, excuse me, caught wind of that and then tried to file charges, or if they just completely let it go. Because this was some years back, you know, but it's just like damn man, like this stuff with the law enforcement, man, this stuff got to really get cleaned up. It really, really, really does, man. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not with people doing foul stuff. I believe, but you know, if you're gonna do law enforcement, you need to do it right or don't do it at all. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say about that. And there's something else I wanted to talk about too. Like I had seen something on the news where there was a doggone what was it? Oh yeah, it was at a FedEx situation where like some guy at the job ended up he ended up I think he did, what was it aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or something like that or he actually had unalive somebody. It was something like that, you know. But it was some real wild stuff, man. It really was, and it was at a facility, and I was just like, dang, man. Like I don't know what happened there, or what caused that dude to go off like that. I think I heard something on the news where I think the two parties involved, I think they might have been exchanging real angry, mean stares or you know glances or something like that. Like I guess that built up animosity or something, or somebody possibly could have said something to the other person that really upset them, and it probably you know it built up over time to where one person said, you know, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to do you in, you know, because I think he ended up unaliving that person, um, or ended up you know hurting him real bad with that firearm. But you know, like I said, man, these days, man, you go into jobs, especially where it's a place where it's a whole bunch of people at, man, you don't know what type of you know, mindset people got. You don't know what the hell is going on with folks in their mind. Excuse me, what's going on, Ray? You don't know what's going on in people's minds. Like you don't know if somebody done did some type of controlled substance before they went to the job. You don't know if damn somebody, drank liquor, or they got a demonic spirit in them or some shit like that. You don't know what the hell is in somebody. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, you go to the job and it's like a whole slew of people. It ain't no telling what you're gonna run across, man. So that's why I say, if you go to the job, especially where it's a whole bunch of people, you want to try to, do what you gotta do. I mean, if some people they might want to speak to you, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if don't nobody talk to you, that's cool too. As long as you're able to go do your job and go home, that's good. You want to try to dodge like a lot of Me Too stuff. I know sometimes, people, they probably want to, talk to the opposite sex or something like that. But you got to be careful with that stuff, and watch how you treat people. 'Cause if you treat people like you think they a piece of crap, or keep on doing stuff to them that's wrong, like that stuff could come back on you. I remember some time back, I saw something where it was like doggone. Man, it was some wild shit, man. It was like, I think the dude was like, I think he practiced Islam or something. Excuse me. And the doggone dude ended up going to that job, man. He ended up like beheading, I think like I think his boss and maybe somebody else too. But I know he got at least one person. And I'm like, man, that's some wild stuff, man. I mean, you took a sharp object and you took somebody's, you know, cranium. You took like the head got separated, man. And I don't know what caused that dude to, want to do that. I don't know if people was making fun of his religion, or they was like I said, they was doing that, or he just got tired of how they was operating at the job or something. Ain't no telling. But that was some wild stuff right there, man. That was really, really wild. And like I said, they got the guy in custody that had that firearm, man. So like I said, you just gotta be careful at these jobs, man. You gotta be careful. And like I said, and I also wanted to talk about I saw something on the news. It was like a pilot. I don't know what airline or whatever, but this dude was under the influence of some type of drugs or something. I don't know the exact type of drugs he was on, but it's like, man, look, dude, if you're gonna be flying aircraft, you don't need to be under the influence of shit. Excuse my French. You have the lives of many people in your hands. You and like whoever you got a co-pilot, like you got those people's lives in your hands, man. And it's like, and you come into the job under the influence of shit. That shit is dangerous. And I don't know if the guy ended up getting locked up for that or something like that. Excuse me, but I think he got suspended for X amount of time from the job, man. But it's like, man, I don't like hearing about stuff like that. You know, uh, some type of pilot under the influence. Hey, you already got enough shit going on with aircraft falling out the damn sky and shit like that. And I see some on news. Well, I'm at some plane with straight down, man. Came up from like one of those private airports, ended up going down, and I think it hit. Uh, I think it might have hit some cars too, man. And unfortunately, like the people in the plane, they didn't make it. I think that thing went up in like a fireball or something like that, man. So it's like, man, you got aircraft falling out of the sky, and just people, under the influence and stuff. That's why, like I said, before I go places, because I done traveled before and been places on aircraft. That's why, before I get on there, I try to make sure I talk to the big man upstairs, man, so I can have like safe passage and stuff like that, man. And hopefully, I get to where I need to go, make it to the destination. But, if it's, something goes down and that's my last day, I just hope that, I hope I get to go, go to be with my father. You know what I'm saying? If that's my last day, and I don't make it through that flight, but yeah, man, that's what I tend to do. Cause like I said, you just never know nowadays, man, with how some of these people be doing stuff. And let's see, there's something else I was gonna talk about. Seeing something. Oh yeah, man. See something on the news. Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Um, something on the news where it was like a sniper shooting at the I think it was at like a ICE office. I seen that on the news, and that's some really wild shit, man. You got a lot of people that are like, I mean, they're seriously angry at these at the ICE officers and stuff like that. The way I see it, it's like they doing their job. Um, I do believe in having a safe country. I know there's a lot of people that are upset about them out there doing their job, which I can understand. If if certain families are being broken up by the ICE situation, so I can understand that. But whoever this person was, they decided to take a shot at that office, man. And I think if I remember correctly, I think it was a Latino man. I think he ended up losing his life, man. I think he got hit, and the story had it where he was supposed to had him and his lady that he was with. I think they were supposed to have, excuse me. I think they were supposed to have moved to Mexico or something like that. At some point in the future, and it's like now they can't even go down there and live with each other. So that was a really sad thing. Now, and I am somebody that I do believe in having secure borders. I do believe in that. But I do understand the frustration some people are having with the ICE officers and stuff like that. Going out there making the rounds and stuff like that. So I definitely can understand people being upset. But at the same time, I do believe in having safe borders. I do believe in people. If you do want to come here, just please come here the right way. I don't care what ethnicity you are, or race you are. It's just, if you're gonna come here, I just want you to do it the proper way. If you do it that proper way, you're good to go. But if you don't, they're gonna send them people after you, and they're gonna have to, they're gonna move you around. That's just the way that the law is. Like I said, at the same time, I understand. People are very upset. I totally understand. Families getting broken up and what have you. But the ICE people, they're gonna go out there and they're gonna go do their job. Regardless if people like it or not. And like I said, I do believe in secure borders. There was a story of something that happened back. It was some time back. It was a man. He was in he was in South Texas, and he was his normal job. He was a border patrol agent, and he ended up, I guess, having some time off with his family, and I think they were at like a state park or something like that, and they were just relaxing, and then like some dude who I believe, if I've read the story correct, I believe he was I think he was an illegal person that was over in America. Excuse me. He might have had possibly had snuck through. I'm saying it's possible that that's what his that guy's situation was. Um, and basically that illegal person, he ended up going over to the one border patrol's his family trying to mess with them. I don't know if he was trying to take their lives or if he was trying to steal or do something to them. But the father, excuse me, of the kids, and I think he was married. So and I think his girlfriend or his wife, the kid's girlfriend or wife, he went to go protect them, and he ended up having a tussle with that guy. He ended up fighting that guy, but unfortunately, that agent, he ended up losing his life, and that was really sad. But and at the same time, I have the highest respect for that man, even though he's no longer with us. But that man went to the fullest extent. He went to go protect his family, and even though his life was on the line, he still went to go protect them. And may that gentleman rest in peace. But you just have situations like that. Where people are over here that are doing foul stuff. You having some young folks getting, having certain types of, we'll just say sexual type of functions that are happening to them that shouldn't be, against their will. And that's some really scary stuff, man. With some of those people that have come over. I'm not gonna say everybody is doing that, but you got some of them in that mix that are doing that type of stuff, just doing all types of evil stuff, man. So that's why, I do believe, in having a secure border. But like I said, at the same time, I do understand the frustration of a lot of people having their homes and families like separated. I definitely can understand they're angry and upset about that. You know, and that's some real stuff. And I also want to move on to another situation. This happened. This happened during the Juneteenth celebration. I think this was last year, and you just had a situation where people, a family, and because I think it was like a block party or something like that, and these were just people just trying to celebrate Juneteenth, you know, having a celebration, and I'm quite sure some of them knew what that that holiday was about, and they ended up having some gun violence go down, and I remember there was a gentleman I saw on the news, and he was crying because he was upset, that his wife got hit and she passed away. And that's some really sad stuff, man. And I remember I was on a live stream one time, where a YouTuber was playing the video of this situation, and there was people in the damn chat that were like making fun of this man crying, and then somebody in the chat ended up getting on to people about that. The person in the chat basically said something like, "Man, what the hell is wrong with you people? How are you, clowning this guy, making fun of this dude when he just lost his wife?" It's like, man, if you lost your spouse, you would be upset and crying and grieving too. But there were people actually like making fun of this guy, and that just goes to show, like you got a lot of real, just ignorant, heartless bastards out there. Excuse my French. Sorry, YouTube, I said that, but you got some real foul people out there, man. And I can't remember if he lost a child or something like that, or if a child got wounded or injured or something like that. But I know the man lost his wife, man. You know, and I just really wish that a lot of these young folks would stop going around committing mischief to people. Doing things to people that really you ain't got no business messing with, man. I know some of these young folks, they upset about things in life. They might not be making the type of money they want. They might not have the type of job they want. I understand that. You're upset. I know. I remember I was upset when I was young about certain things I wanted that I didn't have, that I would like to have. But I didn't go to the extent to where I was like, I'm just gonna ride down the street and just allow folks whoever I see. I never thought of that. What I was trying to do is try to figure out a way to get the stuff that I wanted, and if it was some stuff that it was just too far to reach or I just didn't have a chance to get it, I just had to make peace with that, but you got some folks that they don't know how to channel that, so they just start going out there doing a bunch of wild, crazy stuff, and like I said, me, even to this day, I gotta try to do the best I can to not, just go off at people and be angry and talking trash to folks and all this type of stuff. Like I gotta try to hang in there and try to find positive outlets, because sometimes you get stressed out, you do wild stuff, So like I said, me, I try to go, video games or I might go exercise or something like that, I try to do things like that, man. But but those young folks did, that did that, that was wrong. And I think some of these young folks, man, unfortunately, I think some of them is on what like they call it demon time, man. So you just got some folks out here, they just on some type of shit. They like, look, I don't care about society. I'm just gonna go out here and I'm just gonna run amok. And I don't care who I destroy or who get hurt, whatever, And I think that reminds me of something where it was talking about, I think it was like biblical, man. I think it was saying something about like You know, and I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading somewhere was talking about how there's gonna be a time period where there's gonna be like a lot of young folks that were gonna be behaving like they were gonna be like monsters. You know what I'm saying? Like just going out here, just wreaking all type of havoc and shit on people. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's why I say we in some real trying times, man. And you gotta try to do the best you can to stay with the Most High or whatever type of moral type of mindset you can have to help you navigate through this thing. You want to try to do that, but yeah, but back to that Juneteenth thing. I want people to be able to have a good time, but I do want to just see the violence stop, man. Where people are trying to have positive functions, man. Let those people be. If you're angry about something, man, find ways to channel that stuff out in a better way. And try to problem solve that stuff. Going around this mess with people at the Juneteenth block party, or you going to the park where people are trying to have cookouts and you're trying to tear up and destroy that shit. You need to check yourself, man. You need to check yourself. Like I said, I know life is hard and you're angry and shit, a lot of things, man. But going to light folks up at a function, man, that's not the way you solve your problems, man. That's not the way that you deal with the stuff that's on the inside, man. And I think a lot of these young folks, man, it's sad, with a lot of them, because it's like, man, I think a lot of them could have been all right if they would have just really had some people in their life that cared about them, like their family, you know, excuse me, like the a mom, dad, brother and sister, stuff like that really cared about them, that gave them hugs, that said that they loved them. It ain't, it's one thing to do things like acts of love, but it's something about when you tell somebody that you love them, that's a very profound statement. And it carries a lot of weight. You know what I'm saying? I just think of a lot of, young folks would have had that, in their life, and just would have had that love, would have had some good solid guidance. I think a lot of them would not be doing the type of stuff that they're doing today, you know. But it's just really sad a lot of them didn't have it, man. Um, and then I'm hearing stuff about young folks taking out their parents because they didn't get to go to the parties. I saw something like that one time on I think it was on a YouTube video or the news. It was something I saw somewhere. I saw that stuff, man. The dude wanted to go to a party. I think one or both of the parents said no. So this dude just decided just to go and just unalive his parents. I'm like, what kind of shit is that? It's like, look, man, you can't go to the party. Hey, man, tough niggas, man. Go read a book or go play video games or something. You know what I'm saying? Or go live chat with a friend or something. You know what I mean? Like you don't do that stuff to your parents because they didn't let you go somewhere. Like it's like that type of shit is like that dude mind. Like he had to he had to be under some type of like bad spirit or dark force or something like that. Cause I ain't never in my damn life, back when I was a kid, if I didn't get to do something, I ain't never think that, oh, I need to unalive my parents because they didn't let me go do some shit. I ain't never in my damn life ever thought of no shit like that. But unfortunately you got some young folks that want to go to that level, man. And it's sad. And I just hope a lot of them get help and just get right, man. Get help and get right. And another thing I wanted to talk to is, you got a lot of folks out here that is practicing dark stuff, man. They playing with spirits and all this other type of wild shit. Like you need to be careful for that shit, man. Like I said, watch out who you're hanging with, and another thing, don't be eating everybody food, man, because you don't know what the hell somebody might have done did to the shit. You know what I'm saying? You just got a lot of sick ass people out here. So just look out for what's going on in your life. You start seeing people talking about, yeah, I'm about to have this such and such type of gathering or something. So you might need to get the hell away from that shit. Don't be trying to go over there. They talking about doing such and such and at this time and shit. You need to stay away from that, man. Cause more than likely that shit, they more than likely up to no damn good. So that's basically it right there, man. I just didn't want to hold y'all too long, man, but I just wanted to get on live and just talk about some things, man. Like I said, I hope everybody all right. Me myself, I'm just trying to hang in there, and I'll just try to take this thing day by day. And I just, I just try to do that. And every day that I get up, I'm thankful to be able to see another day. If I still got my right mind, you know what I'm saying? That's a victory right there. Sure, I might not be rich. I might not have the baddest chick in the country or the world. You know what? But you wake up with and you got a sound mind. That's a victory right there. If you wake up and you got a roof over your head, you know what I'm saying? That's a victory right there. That is. Yeah. I see what you're talking about, Ray. You got a lot of that. You got a lot of that going on. That's sad. That's sad, man. And that's another thing that I'm against, man. There's a lot of kids getting abused and stuff like that. That shit is that's some real bad stuff, man. That's some really really bad stuff. I remember growing up, excuse me, hearing stories about kids, getting abused and stuff like that. And that is a real thing, Ray. But I will say though, you do got some kids, man, that some of them just some of them just be on some of them be on demon time, man, where they just like, yo, to hell with authority. I don't give a damn. I'm gonna just do what the hell I want to do, and to hell with everybody, and them type of kids is dangerous, you know. Like I said, and you got some good kids out there. You got some good ones, but shit, some of them they be on one, man, and that's why I was real, hesitant too to to try to go do like teaching because I wanted to teach and like like coach football when it was like football season and stuff. But man, I don't even know about doing that, man, because you got some of these folks bringing firearms and stuff to school, and that shit is dangerous. I don't even know if I want to be in those situation where I'm trying to teach the class and I turn around and one of the students then pulled out a doggone firearm, man, and then he's threatening he or she is threatening somebody. I don't know if I want to really want to deal with that. Shit, because the job I'm at is already enough shit I got to deal with there. And it's like, hell, I don't want to be somewhere, shit, where somebody got a damn thing that could take somebody out. Like, that's some scary ass shit, you know? But, yeah, so that's why I didn't really too much go off into that. But, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm done with, the rest of what I was going to talk about. Like I said, I wasn't going to hold y'all too long. Like I said, sorry I hadn't been on live earlier. Like I said, just earlier this year, there's like a big gap here. Like I said, I've been having a lot of stuff going on, just trying to maintain. But hopefully, I could go live some more. But yeah, this is Chris G signing off. Like I said, y'all could catch the replay. And like I said, Ray, good to see you. You came by, man. And like I said, y'all take care out there, and y'all hang in there. And like I said, if don't nobody care about you, remember the Most High cares about you. All right, you take care. Peace. God bless. I'm out, man. Yeah, me too, Ray. All right, peace.